Yeah, Yash, I've got some spare cash. I want to park this money for 5 to 6 months, but I don't want to take on too much risk. What options do I have? This is one of the classic investment dilemmas that I hear all the time. What's the answer? Well, in the debt space, you've got two main options. Either a regulated InvoiceX SDI from GRIP or a similar platform, or an unregulated invoice discounting deal. Let's break them down and help you figure out the best move for your money. Hey there, I'm Yash Rungta, founder of AltXtra, India's largest community for alternative investment. And I welcome you to AltXtra Series powered by Grip Invest. With AltXtra, we are decoding the complexities of high-yield investments to help you make smarter investment choices. Today, we are going to compare two popular investment options against each other, InvoiceX and invoice discounting. They are both based on invoice receivables, but trust me, the differences between them are more important than you might think. Let's dive in and see which one is right for you. But first, let's break down invoice discounting with a quick example. Imagine a company like Chumbak which sells products on platforms like Amazon or Nykaa. These platforms have a policy to release payments to Chumbak only after 60 to 90 days once the sale is completed. But Chumbak needs cash right away to pay its employees and keep the lights on. To bridge this gap, Chumbak can take the invoices they have billed to Amazon and have them discounted by a third party. This allows them to receive the payment immediately with a small discount, which acts as a return for investors like you and me. And this whole process is what we call invoice discounting. Hope that was clear. I'll give you a fun fact. Invoice discounting, the unregulated one, is actually one of the most popular options in our alt investor community. We ran a poll in September 2024 and guess what? 40% of investors chose to invest in invoice discounting over all other available options. Pretty cool, right? Let's get into the details now. Question number 1. Are both products regulated? InvoiceX is a type of securitized debt instrument popularly known as SDI and is regulated by RBI and SEBI under their respective frameworks. So it's well structured and a compliant product. Coming to invoice discounting, it's mostly an unregulated product. There are no clear guidelines for platforms, which gives them more flexibility, but it also means there's a lot more risk since there is no oversight. It's kind of like driving without a seat belt, maybe not the safest choice for most investors. Question 2. What exactly are you investing in? With InvoiceX, you're investing in a pool of invoices raised against various companies. These companies can be anything from blue chip giants to medium-sized businesses. The key is that these invoices are usually handled by large, reliable NBFCs with solid credit risk processes. What is the downside? You don't get to pick the invoices yourself. The platform does the choosing for you. In invoice discounting, the unregulated one, however, it's a one-on-one game. You get to choose the individual invoices yourself. But here's the catch. There's no set rule for the type of invoices on offer. So some deals could be riskier than other and you might not have a way to distinguish between them. Question 3. What about credit ratings? Well, every InvoiceX deal gets rated by a top-tier SEBI-regulated agency like a ICRA or CRISIL. Think of it as a report card that gives you the info you need to understand the risk. But with invoice discounting, it's a different story. Most of the time, these deals don't come with a credit rating. Instead, you're left relying on whatever data the platform provides, which can make it harder for you to see the full picture. Question 4. Is my investment secured? InvoiceX comes packed with several security features like cash collateralization, over collateralization, and excess interest spread. Basically, even if a few invoices in the pool go south, your investment is still protected. For more info on the security measures, check out our video on SDIs in the AltXtra series. On the other hand, invoice discounting doesn't offer any of these protections. While some platforms may provide trade credit insurance or bank guarantees which are safer, but the majority of opportunities in the industry are still 100% unsecured. Question 5. What kind of returns can you expect? InvoiceX usually offers 10 to 14% returns with a tenure of 6 to 9 months, a steady, reliable option for medium-term parking of your cash. On the other hand, invoice discounting might tempt you with slightly higher returns, around 12 to 16%, with a shorter tenure of around 1 to 3 months. But remember, there is more risk in that product as well. And with more risk, of course, there will be more reward or maybe more loss as well. Question 6. How liquid are these investments? When it comes to liquidity, InvoiceX securities are held in a demat account, meaning you can sell them back to the platform or in the secondary market. But I must warn you, liquidity in this market right now is very limited. As for invoice discounting, it's usually illiquid. You may not have an option to exit before the invoice matures unless the platform offers some flexibility. Question 7. How are these products taxed? Interest income from both InvoiceX and invoice discounting is taxed according to your slab rates. The bad part for InvoiceX is that interest payments get paid after deducting TDS at 25%, while invoice discounting will have a maximum 10% TDS. InvoiceX also has potential capital gains tax if sold for a profit before maturity. To conclude, both InvoiceX and invoice discounting bring their own set of benefits to the table. InvoiceX is a well-regulated, reliable option structured to be a bit safer. Invoice discounting, on the other hand, is a daring, riskier cousin to InvoiceX, offering potentially higher returns but with a looser approach to security and regulations. I'll be honest, while this video is powered by Grip Invest, we have tried to keep things fair in comparing the two. And just to clarify, Grip isn't the only platform offering these kind of deals. You are free to explore SDI backed by invoice receivables on any other platform as well. At the end of the day, your choice between InvoiceX and invoice discounting will depend on your risk tolerance, your investment goals, and whether you prefer security or are willing to take a gamble for potentially a bit more higher returns. As always, make sure to do your research and consult a financial advisor if you need help deciding. That's all for today's video. Which option do you think works best for you? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to AltXtra Series for more insights on making smarter investment choices. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video where we compare between LeaseX and direct leasing products.
Investments in debt securities, municipal debt securities, securitized debt instruments are subject to risks including delay and/or default in payment. Read all the offer related documents carefully.